What are you doing? Arrest this ape now. Yeah, that's how the morning started, shouted like a battle cry by a woman who acted like she owned the entire atmosphere. And somehow, unbelievably, this wasn't even the wildest part of the day. No warm welcome, no friendly wave, no "hey neighbor," just pure unfiltered racism before breakfast. But before the chaos erupted, the cul-de-sac looked peaceful enough to be on a realtor brochure. The sky had that soft early morning glow, lawns were still damp, and the air smelled like someone overwatered their azaleas again. A moving truck rumbled slowly to a stop in front of the Johnsons' new home. Boxes stacked like Lego towers inside, tape still fresh from the hardware store. Inside the truck, Malik Johnson grabbed the first box labeled kitchen. Sweat on his forehead, tired smile on his face, looking like a man stepping into a dream he paid for with years of work. His wife, Serena Johnson, stood in the empty living room, hands on her hips, scanning the walls like she was already designing the perfect layout. Their daughter slept in the back seat of the car, cheek pressed against the window, hugging her stuffed cat with the commitment of someone who clearly didn't approve of early mornings. Everything felt new. Crisp walls, clean floors, quiet street. No HOA breathing down their necks. Just peace, the kind black families don't always get without someone trying to ruin it. But then came the knocking. Except it wasn't knocking. It was three violent slams that rattled the doorframe. Malik froze mid-step, box half lifted. Serena looked up sharply, eyes narrowing like she had just spotted trouble before it announced itself. Malik opened the door slightly, cautious, polite, and there she was, Pamela Greeley, the human embodiment of a Facebook neighborhood watch group. Pastel sweater so tight it looked sprayed on, face red enough to match a fire truck, jaw clenched like she'd been practicing outrage in the mirror. "You don't live here," she snapped immediately. Not a greeting, not a breath, just racism delivered like a package she signed for. Malik blinked, confused but calm. "Excuse me? You heard me," she barked, stepping closer like she actually wished the door was a barrier she could kick down. "This house isn't yours. People like you don't own property in this neighborhood." Serena appeared silently behind Malik, poised, observing, unbothered but alert. Pamela's eyes flicked to her and twisted into something even uglier. Can you imagine someone looking at your entire existence and deciding you don't belong? But then, Pamela escalated. Without waiting for anyone to speak, she whipped out her phone like she was unsheathing a weapon. "Yes, 911?" Her voice got louder, theatrically panicked. "There's a black family trespassing. They broke in. Send someone fast." Because apparently, when you're racist, facts become optional. Hashtag before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from, and make sure to subscribe to Silent Divide Tales because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Sirens began rising in the distance, faint at first, then growing louder. Pamela folded her arms like a dictator preparing for a victory parade. The cruiser turned into the cul-de-sac, lights flashing blue and red across the perfectly trimmed lawns. Pamela ran toward the street, waving both arms over her head like she was guiding a lost airplane. "Officer, arrest them immediately." The officer stepped out, adjusting his belt, eyes moving across the scene. Malik, Serena. The moving truck, boxes, a child asleep in the car. Nothing suspicious, nothing criminal, just a black family trying to unpack. But Pamela practically shoved herself between Malik and the cop. "They broke in," she screamed. "They don't belong. This neighborhood has standards. I know the real owners." Can you believe someone can be that wrong and that loud at the same time? But then, Serena stepped forward. Not fast, not threatening, just calm, the kind of calm that signals power. The officer saw her, really saw her. His posture changed instantly, back straightening, chin lifting, tone shifting into sudden formality. "Chief?" Pamela's head snapped toward him so fast she almost sprained her spine. "What did you just call her?" The officer swallowed. "Chief of police." Silence. Heavy. Deliciously heavy. Pamela cracked. "No, I don't care what she says she is. Arrest them. This is my neighborhood." "Ma'am," the officer said slowly, "stand down." She didn't. Of course she didn't. "They forged documents. People like them." Serena cut in softly. "You mean black." Pamela froze, caught in her own words. The officer pulled out the cuffs for filing a false 911 report, harassment, and targeted racial intimidation. Pamela stumbled backward, face twisting like her brain was melting. "What? For what?" You weaponized 911 because a black family moved in, the officer said. That ends today. He turned her around, hands behind her back. Click. Cuffs locked. Pamela flailed for any authority she thought she had. I'm on the HOA board. I run this street. There is no HOA jurisdiction here, the officer replied flatly. And even if there were, it wouldn't give you the right to commit a crime. Two neighbors stepped outside, phones already recording like they'd been waiting for this episode all season. Pamela panicked instantly. Stop filming. I'm the victim. Serena walked up, voice calm enough to cut glass. No. You're exactly what you say you hate, someone breaking the law. The officer guided Pamela into the cruiser, lowered her inside, and shut the door. Her face pressed against the window, still mouthing excuses no one cared to hear. The cruiser rolled down the street, lights flashing across the quiet neighborhood that suddenly had a mirror held up to it. Malik finally exhaled. Our first morning here, he muttered. We haven't even unpacked a toaster. Serena looked around the block like she was still on duty, scanning the houses, the neighbors, the silent faces still watching. Then her expression softened. She thought she could decide who belongs. Malik nodded. She was wrong. The officer approached again. Chief, we'll file the full report and send everything to your office. Make sure every charge sticks, Serena said. Yes, ma'am. And just like that, a new home had its first victory. A hateful neighbor had her first consequence, and a family finally got the peace they earned. If you believe real justice should always be this clear, hit follow and subscribe to Silent Divide Tales, where powerful stories get the endings they deserve.